Welcome back to the crypto simulation. Tonight I'm going to talk about what pumps in a bull market. What kinds of tokens should you be trying to get to maximize gains in your portfolio? Who doesn't want to maximize their gains, right? That's what we're all here for. Nothing I tell you is going to be financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. Anything I tell you here is just based on my own experience, and that's what you should take it as. Um, I do have some social links. I've got a free Telegram group at the Snake Pit. So check out the links in my bio or in the video description. Also got a Twitter and a TikTok, and I love Polygon. So the bottom line is that bull markets don't really care about fundamentals. That's just not what causes price to go up usually. You know, as long as your project is not an outright scam like the ones that you see on the Solana Dex Casino, and if you haven't seen that, look it up. It's a real thing. Here are some things that don't really matter as much as you might think that they do during market mania. So, none of these things matter that much during a bull run. Inflationary tokenomics. So, if you've got a project that only has about 15 to 20% of its total supply released to the market and they're going to do a few token releases during the bull run, it's not going to suppress price enough for you to really even notice. Maybe it makes a difference between getting like a 38x and a 42x. But unless the inflation is really extreme, and there are some examples of that, I don't think you need to worry about that nearly as much as you might think that you do. Also, the tech, what's under the hood, how it works, only developers and the nerdy people in crypto like myself care about that. Most of retail doesn't care, and I know that's sad, but that's something we have to accept if we want to really make a lot of money. Number three is a functioning or completed product. Cardano is an example of a project that has done remarkably well ever since its inception, despite not really having much in the way of a functioning product. Number four, real world use cases. So when Dogecoin was developed in 2013, it didn't really have any real world utility, other than bringing community together, which ended up being one of the most important things. But it certainly wasn't. It's a very highly inflationary token by nature. It has no supply cap, and yet it exploded in price, and people love Dogecoin. You ask almost anybody in the street, they know what Dogecoin is. Number five, decentralization. Again, this kind of goes along with the tech, but most of retail doesn't care about decentralization. Solana is a case in point. Solana was a heavily centralized blockchain that did remarkably well in the last mania phase, and is doing really well right now too, despite still being, albeit less centralized. It's less centralized than before. Still is pretty centralized, and they're still dealing with outage issues. So here's a project that comes to mind that I really liked last cycle, called Algorand. And this was a project that was put together very carefully and thoughtfully, but didn't really do that well. And it had so many fundamentals going for it. It had a pure proof of stake consensus mechanism that was decentralized, where they had random validation to be as fair as possible and efficient. It was developed by MIT professor Silvio Macaulay, who's very passionate about blockchain and pioneer in this space. It had really great scalability compared to some of its competitors, with a block finality of approximately 4.5 seconds. It hosted layer 1 smart contracts, Algorand standard assets, which was functionality for tokenization on the chain, and the technology was fairly complex and intricate. A little hard for developers to learn, honestly, at times, but yeah, it had some really, really good fundamentals. Yet, this is what the chart looked like. Very disappointing overall. I'm not sure I have the most complete chart here, but you can see that this doesn't look like Solana. So, despite the innovative tech and a CEO who's very reputable, and also I would say a partnership, somewhat of a partnership with Charles Hoskinson at Cardano. I mean, he used to shill Algorand, and yet not many people were buying it. Then you have the meme coin of last year, Bonk. And this thing freaking exploded. I mean, look at that chart, right? I remember when this exploded upwards, and I was just in awe of it. Bonk doesn't really do anything for the crypto space. It's not a layer 1, layer 2. It doesn't offer any kind of DeFi, or real world assets or anything like that, yet it's already outperformed most anything this cycle. Why is it so successful? So Bonk was kind of a community-driven, grassroots developed token, and the way that they distribute their tokens, there was either very little or no supply held by the token creators, and it was just very easy to obtain. There was very viral marketing and a meme culture to take advantage of, which speaks to this idea of developing a community around a coin, around a project, something that's kind of fun and entertaining, and that's what people respond to with their money, with their wallets. They had the support of the Solana ecosystem, and Solana was like literally the first mover of this bull market after it crashed really hard during the last bear market, and it was also the first to truly recover. And so they had the support of that ecosystem. Um, the tokenomic structure was deflationary, meaning they did token burns to increase the value for people who were holding the token. They had really fun, innovative airdrop strategies and other incentives. And they also played the previous hype around Doge and Shiba Inu being another dog coin. And you've seen some other ones in this space like Dog with a Hat. And, animals are kind of a meme in general in crypto. So they took advantage of those different things. So here's kind of the bottom line. And this may be something that is difficult for you to hear and accept. But I, have to tell you, pumpamentals matter a lot more than fundamentals in a bull market. Things like strategic marketing, community building, fair tokenomics, ease of use, ease of purchasing, strong and transparent leadership, conviction and faith in the token holders and also from the team behind the token. First movers are usually more successful, not always a rule of thumb there. Think Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like that. They were the first movers in the space. Token name and logo, the branding, the marketing, again. Algorand was really terrible at marketing. That's one thing they did not do well or even seem to value that much. Cosmos last cycle did a really horrible job with their tokenomics. It was not holder friendly, and that kind of hurt them because they had an awesome ecosystem. The website can matter. I know Elrond rebrand themselves to Multiverse X, and the name is super cool. It got me interested, but then when I looked at their website, it was just like, what are they trying to be? They're trying to do way too many things. It was a complicated, convoluted website. A token like Shrapnel, which is a Web3 play to earn game in development, their website was freaking awesome. Their team was awesome. Unfortunately, their tokenomics not so awesome. And there were some issues. I did own some of that at one point, and I don't anymore. But really, their website still looks amazing, and the game looks cool too. And social channels, things like Discord, Telegram. You go into them, and are they really active? Do they have a good vibe in there? And so, those are the things that retail pays attention to, and that's where their money is going to go. People will literally look at a logo of a coin, think it looks cool, and buy it without doing any research. They're not like you and me. They go straight off emotion. The same kinds of things you see in a Super Bowl ad. That's what's going to attract their attention. However, does this mean that we should all just go ape into coins like Bonk and things that have no fundamental value? No, because your investing thesis and individual psychology matter much more. You're here watching this video because you're not like those retail tourists that come and go. Just because pumpamentals move markets more efficiently than fundamentals, that does not mean that you should just ignore glaring red flags from projects. If you're not convicted or convinced in the project's utility or ecosystem, and you're not getting involved in the community, you're not joining the Discord, the Telegram, and seeing what they're all about, then you're really not doing yourself a favor. You're likely to be less successful, even if you're seeking projects based on pumpamentals instead of fundamentals. So I think since you're educated, you're smart, you want to know more about your projects, you should do your research. And I think the more conviction you have in what you hold, the easier it is for you to hold through downturns and other extremely volatile events in the market. But you should also keep in mind that your fundamentals, like if you pick a project strictly based on fundamentals, I'm sure it will still pump. It's a bull market, but it may not pump as a project that you're not quite as crazy about. So just keep that in mind. Is this space only about making more money? Is that the only reason you're here? And I think if it is the only reason you're here, you need to think twice. And I know that's kind of crazy, right? We're in crypto to make money. Absolutely. That's what investing is all about. But it's also about having an experience. Life is short, and you don't want crypto to be a miserable experience. You want to be able to feel like you're a part of something. And that is something that's truly priceless. And I've felt that way um, a lot in this market cycle compared to the last cycle where I didn't feel like I was a part of anything. And it was very lonely and isolating. So keep in mind, part of your success is your psychological and emotional health, which is directly related to your conviction in particular projects. And you should not copy other people's investments. You should do your own research, find projects you believe in, and decide what's important to you. If decentralization is important to you, then focus on that narrative. I have things that are important to me as an investor, and I focus on those in my investing thesis, even if it may not make me quite as much money in the end. And I know that sounds foolish, but there's more to this space than just trying to just make as much money as possible, because that could be at the expense of your mental health. It could be at the expense of holding way too many projects and not focusing in on certain ones, the expense of ignoring glaring red flags. So pay attention when I tell you that, because there is such a thing as getting too greedy. There really is. And that's what the most challenging thing in a bull cycle is. So at the same time, please don't overthink your strategy, because I'll tell you what, go back to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and type in the dates of some, peak mania phases and try to find projects that were down. It's super hard. It's just as hard as finding projects that are up in the worst part of a bear. Literally everything is going to go up. So, you know, I think some swapping around is okay, to get yourself sort of in position and set yourself up during the accumulation periods. But be careful about paper handing and, moving things around too much once the bull really starts to get going and getting really greedy and thinking, if I was only in this one. Don't chase gains. Just remember, almost everything goes up during the mania phase, and if you just stick it out, you're probably going to make a lot of money. Okay. Of course, we have to get out of the market. We have to remember to sell. We can't just hold on to projects because we like the way they look on a little logo, or we have, it gets like sports where you get this like conviction, almost like the way you do when you're rooting for a team. So just remember to also know when to exit the crypto simulation and go have a life and do fun things. And then you can always come back to it again. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more content, for more deep analysis of the crypto markets. And be sure to join our free Telegram. And I'm trying to find my mouse and not screw this up here. Okay. The Snake Pit. We're getting close to 100 members in there. I just started this YouTube channel about a week ago. We've been growing like crazy. And then also, if you get a chance, check out the Nova DAO Telegram at Nova. I am a member there and very active in their community. So that's about it. If you have any questions, drop me a comment or just go to the Telegram. Don't forget to subscribe, because that helps me get my content out to more people so they can be educated like you. All right. Well, till next time. See you later. Bye.